Hello everyone, and welcome to Arcanum. This is the second half of the two-part series where I discuss the hidden truth about 6 demonic symbols. They are the most common symbols most people are familiar with, but the truth to your understanding of them may not be as it seems. The Leviathan Cross. In Christianity, the Leviathan is believed to be the demon of envy, placing him as the 4th of the 7 princes of hell, which correspond to the 13th century classification of demons using the 7 deadly sins. Leviathan is associated with being the primordial demon beast of the seas, as well as the Hellmouth, a monstrous beast into whose mouth the damned disappear at the Last Judgment. Pretty badass if you ask me. So, the Leviathan Cross must be evil, right? Well, no, obviously not. It's simply an old alchemical symbol for sulfur. That's it, really. You may be familiar with sulfur by its archaic name brimstone, and by its infamous unpleasant smell of farts, a smell so horrid and so thick you can almost taste it.
Whew, Shrek, did you do that? Man, you gotta warn somebody before you just crack one off. My mouth was open and everything.
Believe me, donkey, if it was me, you'd be dead. It's brimstone.
In alchemy, sulfur is believed to be one of the 3 essential elements of nature. It is also believed to be analogous to the human soul, with its characteristics of hot and dry representing masculine energy, and cool and moist representing feminine energy. Deconstructing the sign further, the double cross symbolizes balance and equality between these 2 energies, arising from the infinite, which is depicted by the infinity sign at the bottom, symbolizing the constant and infinite nature of the universe. This cross's spooky perception comes from the founder of the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey's adoption of it in the 1960s. The symbol never had any connection to anything remotely demonic or satanic prior to LaVey's adoption of it. The Leviathan Cross, along with other non-demonic symbols, like the pentagram and the Baphomet, continue to be incorrectly used by the Church of Satan. The symbol's association with demons or Satan is simply a product of trying a little too hard to be edgy. The only mention of brimstone in association with Satan is in the Book of Revelation. Fire and brimstone had previously been instruments of divine wrath, and were used against Lucifer and the other fallen archangels, as they were casted out into a lake of fire burning with brimstone, which essentially became hell. Given the abundance of sulfur on Earth, as it is the 5th most common element on Earth, which naturally collects below the Earth's crust and erupts above it in a volcanic nature, being casted into a lake of fire and brimstone is more symbolic of these fallen archangels being stripped of their divinity and made to be closer and thus a bit more equal to man in the material realm. A fitting punishment, especially for Lucifer, as it was his opposition to be equal to man and desire to be as God that led to his expulsion. This is what happens when you think you're so special. The design of the Leviathan Cross is believed to have been influenced by the 16th century Cross of Lorraine, a symbol used by the Knights Templar, and interestingly, it can be found on Oreo cookies along with other symbols used by the Knights Templar. The Unicrystal Hexagram. The Unicrystal Hexagram originated with the esoteric group the Golden Dawn. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was a secret society devoted to the study and practice of occult sciences. They were formed in the late 1800s and were one of the largest single influences on Western occultism. The Unicrystal Hexagram was later adopted into the lemma. The lemma is a spiritual philosophy and system of magic founded by occultist and ceremonial magician Aleister Crowley. Crowley added a 5-petaled flower in the center of the Unicrystal Hexagram in order to symbolize a pentacle to represent the 4 elemental forces. Crowley was quite a contentious figure for his time, and to many even today, as it was his critics that falsely marked him a devil worshipper. It was this false association of Crowley being a follower of Satan that caused the symbol to be associated with evil and the devil. The Unicrystal Hexagram is similar to a regular hexagram, the only real difference being that the Unicrystal Hexagram can be drawn in one continuous motion. Continuity and fluidity of motions and actions is important in magical rituals, especially for rituals that involve creating a protective barrier, as it lacks a break in motion and therefore it lacks a break or open vulnerability to unwanted or negative forces or entities into the barrier itself. There are also planetary and elemental correspondences with the Unicrystal Hexagram, similar to the pentacle and pentagram. The only thing the Unicrystal Hexagram can't protect you against is getting body slammed by Yugi as he continues to attack your soulless body. The Chaos Symbol. Both mysterious in its ambiguity and daunting with its sharp points, the Chaos Symbol has been used for dark, cryptic, and demonic imagery. But does it really have anything to do with these themes? Well, it might appear quite cryptic, but it's definitely not dark nor demonic. The Chaos Symbol has been frequently placed on demonic imagery, but its origins have no connection to the devil. The history of the visual representation of chaos magic in the form of this symbol is a bit complex. The Chaos Symbol as we know it today originated from the writer of the Eternal Champion stories and its dichotomy of law and chaos. However, there are also numerous traditional symbols from ancient Egyptian, Indian, Greek, and Roman practices, as well as Wiccan that share the same geometrical form. One of the representations of the Chaos Symbol within the occult can be seen in Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot deck as the 8 of Wands. Crowley described the card as representing energies scattering at high velocity, which created the depiction of this symbol. So as stated, the Chaos Symbol has no association with the devil, and its main current day association is with chaos magic. So what is chaos magic? Well, it's a form of magical practice within the occult that draws ideas from various sources and doesn't ascribe to a specific path or system of magic. It is the act of separating dogma from magic. To understand chaos magic, we must understand chaos itself. Chaos is the complete and utter opposite of order, thus it is opposed to dogma. In chaos, rules do not exist, limits do not exist, inhibition does not exist. There isn't anything that is not allowed in chaos, as it is the absolute freedom without fear of consequences and without regard for others or oneself. Chaos is neither good nor evil, yet it can be both at once and neither at once. It is on the practitioner's side, yet it can be against the practitioner at the same time. Chaos is like a wildfire or an explosion, as it creates while it destroys. Chaos is everything and nothing. It is without control and without normality. In magical work, chaos magic uses belief and intention as a main current of force behind the magical working, which can appear quite chaotic in comparison to more dogmatic magical practices, as they follow a specific way of doing rituals to bring about their desires, opposed to using sole belief that their desires will come to fruition. Chaos magic is pretty much the punk rock anarchist of the magical practices. It may work for you, though it is not plainly predictable.